Welcome back to Dota Politica. I am Peter Ogutu. Now, the Albert Ojwang murder case is a venomous web of betrayal, with Oest Talam framed as the fall guy, while tribalism and the power shield the untouchables. Kenya's pulse races. Now, Tallam now is the fall guy, and tunaona ukabila kwa hii kesi because 4 things are coming up. Tallam is framed by DCI. DCI boss Mohamed Amin points fingers at Oest Talam, claiming he refused to book Ojwang on June 7th, the day he was arrested, implying he orchestrated the blogger's fatal assault. Now, this is actually framing this guy because he is arguing that Tallam's refusal was due to a flimsy arrest tied to DIG Eliud Langat's complaint, tampered CCTV and missing logs conveniently in Tallam, a scapegoat. Now, this now is power angles because Eliud Langat is the DIG, Deputy Inspector General, but Tallam is just an OCS or police station. Now he's the fall guy. I filed the complaint and you went ahead and killed the suspect. That's how the story has been arranged. And of course it is sad. Now, also there's another point that came out. Murkomen's shield for Langat. Now, Interior CS Kipchumba Murkomen in June 11th Senate session day declared no arrest for Langat, stating the evidence must lead to the suspect. That hakuna evidence and IPOA don't decide charges. You see now, Murkomen, this is where no tribalism is coming in, because Murkomen is saying that there's no evidence. Why do you say there's no evidence yet? This guy just ordered the arrest of Langat. And if I thought Tallam is involved, of course Tallam might have been involved because he's the OCS, kweli. But Tallam had no power to kill a suspect. Kama hii order haikutoka above. Hawa waache kutupima, kweli. Now, Murkomen has just shown how true the government is. You can't say that there's no evidence yet. Everything is pointing at Langat. Now, tribalism is toxic. For example, on Twitter, Ouma Nekos accused President Ruto of shielding Langat, a fellow Kalenjin. Kweli. In a government rife with tribal favoritism, critics see Ruto's silence and Murkomen's inaction as proof of ethnic loyalty trumping justice, because Langat is Ruto's appointee, but Ruto has not talked about this issue. It's not even ordered the DIG Langat to step down. But we are seeing Murkomen saying that there's no evidence. How does Murkomen know that there's no evidence yet? Investigation is still undergoing. CCTV cameras were tampered with. Now, with a non-Kalenjin victim like Ojwang, a Luo actually, dismissed. Now, Ojwang is Luo, and this thing will affect Raila. If Raila continues his broad-based government with Ruto, I think he will go alone. And Ruto has just messed Nyanza votes. Kweli. Huyu jamaa amemess votes za Nyanza because Galit Wanga once said that we did not sign for assassination of our members. She was implying that the government cannot eliminate laws. That's when Ongondo had died. So, Kenya is boiling in rage. Protest, flare, justice for Albert Ojwang. People are saying that we want justice for Albert Ojwang, and Ruto has remained mum about this issue. Now, arrest critics. The government has been arresting their own people. For example, Rose Njeri was just arrested last week because she developed a website that, of course, allowed Gen Zs or Kenyans to hear their views pertaining, the finance bill 2025. But they can't arrest the people who actually killed this innocent soul. Because I believe, if at all Ojwang had done, wrong, of course, the law. Koti kopale, peleka jamaa koti, kama hizi tetea, nende chela. But beating someone, bludgeoning someone to death is uncalled for. Now, this is my conclusion now. Tallam's framing is a desperate ploy to bury Langat's role. Kweli. And with Murkomen's refusal to act and Ruto's tribal shield exposing a corrupt core, I mean, all I'm saying here is tribalism. I think Gachagua said this thing last week, that our government, the president, has appointed his tribesmen in powerful positions, because this Edwin Langat seems to be untouchable. Of course, I don't know. I'm not sure he's going to believe it. I can't say that, but everything is pointing at him. I mean, of course, he might have not done the thing. Maybe he allowed the arrest, but maybe some rogue policemen just went ahead and beaten and killed the guy, Kweli. But again, investigation needs to be done. Where is the CCTV camera? Yeah, because if one is arrested, he needs to be taken to court. Afai kutandikwa the way so, anafaa kupelekwa kotini, Kweli. And it is absurd, unfortunate that this young man lost his life in the hands of policemen who are actually supposed to protect him. So Tallam is going to be a scapegoat, Kweli. Tallam is a scapegoat, and he will regret working with the powerful people. He will regret, because DCI and other powerful people will just die with his name. Oh, where do Elizabeth CCTV? Where do police station? Who killed this guy? And of course, because Tallam is the OCS, he cases because he's the OCS. He should be knowing something. And I think he will have to say what happened, because he's the OCS. He is the leader of the police station central. So he is the one who has to say what really transpired behind the cells. And of course, he cannot mention the powerful people, because if he does so, he will lose his job. So this case is becoming tricky. And I think the way I'm saying it, I don't think justice is being done here. Kweli. Remember the case of Ongondowere. All of them are achiliwa. I mean, justice in Kenya is rotten. Kweli. All of them are achiliwa. Case of remember the case of Kware, where 40 people were found dead. And of course, we saw some drama. A serial killer being arrested. And then after some 1 month, atu jamaa amekimbia. Up to today, the government has never said anything telling that guy. So it shows that there was some game being played. Yeah, and justice in Kenya is rotten. Yeah, I think Ojwang's father will go home a broken man, because he will never find justice, because he can't touch people, powerful people. Even this Tallam, ataguzwa, the case itakuwa kwa Tallam, koti, ipotee. Then see, Kenyans are good at forgetting. This case by next week, by next week, what amesahau, people are doing their business. Kweli, how many cases that people have forgotten in Kenya? Anyway, that's my opinion. Tell me what you think about this issue. Comment there.